Hey everybody, welcome to our info session. This is going to be our info session for our fall 2020 virtual internship program. So I'm so excited to see everybody here. We'll give just a few minutes for folks to be able to join, and we'll get rolling here shortly. If you can hear me, if you can see me okay, just throw something into the comment box below or in the chat down below so that I can know that you can hear me just fine. If you have any questions at all that you would like to ask me, shoot me a text. The chat here will be going pretty fast, so I'm just going to share my cell phone number in the chat, and I'm going to pin that. And so if you haven't already, shoot me a text, and I'll pull it up on my iPad right here. How's everybody doing? If you are joining us today, throw into the chat where you're joining us from, just like city, state that you're in. How's your day going? I just finished recording. I just finished recording our Friday podcast episode, which is going to be about gratitude. So I'm excited to be able to get that out here shortly. And Carson, who is our community manager, is going to be joining me on this live stream. And we're going to be hosting this session, basically answer any questions, all the questions that you might have about our fall internship program. So excited to be able to into this. So excited to be able to do this internship program for this fall. And I hope you guys are excited to come be a part of this as well. Hey, Carson.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So this is a pretty exciting session that we have for everybody because we've had so many people share feedback about this internship program. So I see got somebody from Dallas in the chat, like trying to wait for everybody. Is everybody in Toronto, Canada? That's awesome. So that was one of the first questions that we got about this internship program, is whether you can do this if you're on the West Coast, on the East Coast. How are time zones going to work? Can you join from Canada? The answer to that is yes. So we started this internship program because, Carson and I were taking a look at what was happening with internships over the summer, and so many companies canceled their internship programs. And, to be honest, in the past, we would have tried to do something in person where we would have had interns in our office where we can help and, teach things side by side. And, that's just not the world that we're living in right now. And I see somebody else, Monica from Tennessee. Hey, Monica, I'm in Nashville. And so when we started getting together and we started thinking, well, what can we do? Like, what can we do right now to be able to go out and to be able to help as many people as we can, as we possibly can. And so there are a few things that we wanted to try to accomplish. The first one was we wanted to try to run an internship program where anybody can join from anywhere. The truth of the matter is that whether you're a student and, previously you were going to school in Michigan or in Virginia or in, wherever, chances are many of you are taking classes right now. And so we knew that the internship program had to be virtual. So the first thing that we did was we said, hey, we're going to plan a virtual internship. The second thing that we wanted to be able to do was to make sure that anybody could join it from any time zone. And so the way that we've designed this internship program is it's 100% asynchronous. So that means that you can do the internship no matter what time zone you're in. So theoretically, if you were in Asia, you could still do our program from Asia. So it doesn't matter what time zone you're in. We will have meetings, just like any internship. You have meetings and you meet with the team, and we'll be doing that stuff too, but we're going to be doing it right here. And the reason we're doing it right here this way is because then if you can join live like you're joining today, that would be awesome. But some of you might be watching this replay video because you might have class right now, or you might have another commitment right now, and that's okay too. So we designed this internship program so that if you can join live, that's awesome, because then you'll be able to text me questions and ask questions. We'll be able to talk about data. We'll be able to talk about marketing. We'll be able to talk about sales. We'll be able to talk about software development. Whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about those things. But if you can't join live, you can still text message those questions in advance, and we can still have that conversation, and then you can watch this video whenever you can watch this video. So how does that sound? If that sounds awesome, just type a yes into the chat, because we're trying to be as flexible as we possibly can right now. I see Cortez is interested in public relations. So that's been something else that we've had a lot of people ask too, about PR opportunities. We actually do have PR baked into the internship program, but I kind of just bucketed that into marketing. So when I say marketing, I'm talking about marketing. I'm talking about digital marketing. I'm talking about social media management. I'm talking about public relations. I'm talking about media relations. I'm talking about all of those things. And some of you might know, some of you might not know, but this time last year, I was actually a CMO, a chief marketing officer at a tech company that was based in San Francisco. So that's kind of my background. So if you're interested in public relations, you're definitely in the right place. If you're interested in software, you're definitely in the right place, because those are all the things that I've done in the past. And that's quite frankly what we do at Vyten as well. So kind of process-wise, we're trying to accept as many people as we can. We've had a few folks ask us if we can jump on the phone, and quite frankly, I'm not a phone person anyway. Like if somebody calls me on the phone and I don't know who it is, most of the time I'll like text the person back and go, "Hey, this is Vincent. Who is this?" Is anybody else like that too? Like I don't know if it's just me and like I'm weird, but it's a lot easier, and quite frankly, you get to know each other better on video anyway. Cortez asked a question. Actually, I'm going to go aquarium first. Very millennial. That is absolutely very typically millennial, and I'm unapologetic about that. So Monica says me.
We
so
also
yeah.
have a question about the CS industry and how students graduating would work with internships in that area.
Yeah, I think that's a really great question. What's tough right now is that traditionally for internships, it takes a lot of resources inside of companies to be able to provide internships. And then, you're limited by the number of projects that you feasibly have that can be done inside of a company as well. So what we're going to do as part of our internship, Vyten is a technology company. We obviously do have a platform and a website, and many of you have already created a username and password and logged into our platform. But the truth of the matter is we had hundreds of applications for interns. We're still getting applications that are flooding in right now. And so we will have some projects that will be available to be able to work on projects for us, for our website, for our customers. But we're also going to be able to create projects to go out into our communities and help our communities as well. And so what we're going to do is you'll have a few different options. So if your interest is in sales, you can spend more of your time on sales. If you're interested in marketing, you can spend more of your time in marketing. If you're interested in software development, you can spend more time there. If you're interested in data, then we're going to make sure you're up to your neck in data and working on projects there. It's a rotational internship. And so you do go across all of these areas. You do work on things across all of the areas, but that doesn't mean that you can't double down on the area that you're the most interested in. And where you want to be able to create projects and do more projects, we're going to go out into our communities and find nonprofits and find other organizations that could use help. And so if we don't have a project for us, that we need in that particular area, but you're interested in doing PR, you're interested in doing some type of hackathon, we're going to help you go find a nonprofit where you can create that project and go make a difference out in your communities. And the biggest thing, and the reason why we're doing all of this, is to be able to give you the experience, to be able to add it to your LinkedIn profile, to give you the experience, to be able to add it to your resume, so that you can go land either your next internship or you can go land that job that you really, really want. Part of what I think has been really challenging is, and I don't know when this changed. I graduated in 2009, and that was during a recession, and it was a really hard time to be able to find a job. And the truth of the matter is I'm seeing a lot right now of the similar things that I saw in 2009 when I was out there looking for a job. And as I was looking through job applications, like every single job that was out there required some experience. So even like an entry-level marketing job required like a year of experience in marketing. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to get my first marketing job if I need a year of experience to get a marketing job? But you can't get experience unless you get a marketing job. So it's like this catch 22. And like, I don't know how many of you feel that way. If you've looked at a job description as well, and it's like an entry level role, it's like perfect for you. It's a job that you absolutely want, but then it like requires experience. Throw a thumbs down into the chat, because like, you're right there with me if that's you. And like, I was even looking at internship postings. We had one on our Instagram feed the other day, and I just saw a comment where Aquarium said the barriers to entry in marketing are insane, and that's the truth. We had an internship on our profile, on our Instagram profile the other day from Facebook, and it was a data internship for Facebook University, and the internship required experience in analytics and working with BI tools. BI tools is business intelligence tools. And I'm just like, this is crazy. That's an internship. And so this internship, what we're doing is we're trying to give you that work experience so that you can put it on your resume, so that you can go land that internship at Facebook, or so that you can actually apply for that entry-level marketing role and be qualified for that. So Cortez asks, is this a paid internship? The answer for our internship is no. It does not cost any money to do our internship. It does not cost any money to apply for our internship, and it is not a paid internship. We do have a lot of people, though, who have sent us paperwork from their schools so they get academic credit for our Vyten internship. So if your school has a program where you can earn credit for doing an internship, get in touch with us. If you've already been accepted into our program, get in touch with us so that we can fill out that paperwork for your school and make sure that you get credit for the internship. Another question, how helpful will this internship be for emerging HR professionals? I would say, we're not focusing on HR. That's a really good question. We're not focusing on HR in particular. However, there are transferable skills that perfectly transfer into HR. What I mean by that is in HR, if you're working in recruiting, you have recruiting events. And in events, there's management that has to happen, whether that's event management, whether that's project management, whether that's budget management. And we are working on a lot of project management things because we are running projects here. Now, in recruiting, you also have what's called employer marketing as well, that's the marketing for like the employer branding. And you'll notice that a lot of employers have two different Instagram accounts. They have one for their company, and they actually have one for the careers at that company. And so even working in HR, there's a marketing team that's running that marketing for their employer and their careers Instagram account. And so all of that transfers as well. And then the last one, the area that, right off the top of my head transfers is data and analytics. It doesn't matter what department or what function you want to work on in the future, analytics will be part of it. And so these were the things that, like, quite frankly, I wish I would have known. I don't know how many people are like me. I was a communications major in college, and literally when I was a comm student, I was just like, okay, how do I take the least number of math classes as possible and graduate? And that was like literally my goal. I was like, which major could I take as few math classes as possible and still have a degree? If anybody else is like that, just say me too in the chat, because I hope I'm not the only one there. But that was literally my...
I think we have a few more questions in the chat. So I think they are regarding start dates and different rotations.
Yeah, absolutely. So I saw a question in the chat that was, hey, I signed up to be a marketing intern. Can I switch to data analytics? The answer to that is you don't have to. You're going to be able to pick the areas that are the most important to you, that you want to spend the most time in. With that being said, you're going to spend a week in each of those areas, but for your project at the end of the internship, that you're going to be able to pick an area that leverages where you want to get the most experience in. And so don't worry about, the first thing is, don't worry about if you have no idea what you want to do yet. If you have no idea what you want to do yet, don't worry about that. This internship is perfect for you. It's a business-focused internship, really broadly applicable. If you know you want to spend more time in data, we're going to give you a crash course in the other areas just so that you get a level of you become a little bit familiar with what sales is like, what marketing is like, but you'll be able to double down in the areas and spend more time in the areas that you want to spend more time in. And quite frankly, that helps you as you go into your job as well, because you start to understand what other people on your team, what they're working on and what things are like for them as well. So that's one of those questions. I'm going to scroll through here. Start dates. So start dates. So different people on this info session are in different spots. If you've applied to the internship already, that's awesome. If you have not applied to our internship program, you can do that. There's a link in our profile. So if you go to our profile, our Instagram profile, and you go to the link tree, there's a link in there to apply for the internship, or it's at Vyten.com/intern. So Vyten.com/intern, or you can hit the link in the link tree. If you've already applied and you haven't heard back yet, that's because we're working on reviewing your application right now. We've tried to make the application as easy as possible. It takes like 2 minutes to fill out this application, and then we're going to review your LinkedIn profile and the stuff that you've submitted, but it only takes 2 minutes to apply. We try to do that as fast as we can. That does take us some amount of time, though, because we've had hundreds of people apply for the internship already, and we still have right now hundreds of people that are still applying for this internship every single day. So if you haven't heard back from us, hang tight. We're going to try to get through that as fast as you can. If you have heard back from us and you've accepted into the program, so if you've received an email that said that you've been accepted into our fall internship program, congratulations, and we're excited to have you on our team. In that, there's a survey that you can fill out to select your start date. So we know different people are on different weeks, semester system, quarter system, whatnot, and we want you to be able to pick a schedule that works best for you. And so when you fill out the survey, all of our internship cohorts start on Monday. So every single option starts on a Monday. You'll be able to pick which Monday you want to start. Then you'll get access to what we call Intern HQ. And Intern HQ is kind of like your central command center for all things our internship program. So once you get accepted, and once you select a start date, you'll get access to Intern HQ right away. Doesn't matter when your start date is, you'll be able to get access to Intern HQ right away. There's a discussion board on there. People are already introducing themselves. People are already meeting each other. People are already forming project teams. We haven't even announced what the projects are yet. And people are already forming teams. It's awesome. So you'll want to get in there right away. The week before your internship starts, so you pick the start date, the week before your internship starts, you're going to get access to Google Classroom. And Google Classroom is basically where each week we're going to give you sales trainings. We're going to give you marketing trainings. We're going to give you data projects. And you'll be able to go into the Google Classroom and find out what the assignments are for that week. And you'll be able to then turn in completed assignments through the Google Classroom as well. If you have questions about any of this stuff, how all of it works, Intern HQ is your place. And so if you've already been accepted into the program, you've already picked your start date, you have any questions, just throw it on the discussion board on Intern HQ. And that's the place to be able to get started. If you need to change your date, that's okay. We know that stuff happens in life. And if you want to defer your start date, you can do that as long as your start date is not within the next week. So if your start date is within the next 7 days, we've already started making preparations for your cohort. So you got to stick with that date. But if it's more than 2 weeks out and you need to change your start date, just reach out to us, let us know, and we'll give you the process to be able to switch your start date. And I think that's pretty much it. So I see a question in the chat. How do we start making teams? And which teams do we need to start with? You don't have to do anything yet. We have a lot of people, and the applications from many of you have been incredible, and I can already tell there's a lot of overachievers in this group who are awesome. But you don't have to do anything yet. We won't start projects until I think week 3 or week 4 of the. So you have plenty of time.
And your teams will be probably people in your same kind of cohort based on your start date. So you'll have their information in Google Classroom. So you don't have to worry about figuring out how to reach out to them because there's a couple places to do so.
Yeah, that's a great point. Michelle says, I joined late, but do we still have to text Vincent as part of the application? If you haven't sent me a text yet, shoot me a text. So my phone number is pinned to this message. It's a great way of, during your internship, being able to ask questions, and it's a great way for me to be able to share some of the things that I've learned throughout my career. You know, the space that I've worked in for the past over a decade has been in data, has been in software engineering, has been in marketing, and has been in sales. And so I'm really excited to be able to have all of you in this internship program. But yeah, my phone number, 615-667-8433. Save it in your phone if you haven't already. Shoot me a text. When you shoot me a text, you can add yourself to my contacts list, because I don't know how many of you have ever like switched cell phones and like you haven't logged into your Apple ID or your Google account yet and not synced up, and like people send you a text and it's like really awkward. It's like, sorry, who is this? So when you shoot me a text, you'll be able to save yourself in my phone. That way I know who you are, and that way I know you're in the internship program. So in that text, just mention that you've applied for the internship program, or you've already been accepted, or you're about to start our internship program. And yeah, shoot me a text. Will we have a winter internship session 2? That's a really good question. We don't know yet. I wish I had an answer there. I don't know yet. We don't know yet. It depends on how many people we have applying in the fall. Depends on how many people, have to defer their date. Well, what I do know is we're doing this in the fall. What I do know is that between now and the end of December, we're going to be spending a lot of time helping as many people as we can, getting as many people through this internship program as possible, so that you get the work experience and that you can apply for the job that you want to get in the future, or the internship that you want to do next summer. Hopefully, when we can have some internships that are in person and in offices. Hopefully, when a vaccine's out. Carson, any questions that I missed?
Yes. So there was one question: what happens at the end of this internship?
Yeah.
So I think that is probably speaking to the intern project.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the internship, here's what I know. You're going to learn a ton in these areas. So, like, first and foremost, being able to learn is the biggest thing that you're going to be able to get out of this internship program. Number 2, you're actually going to walk away with some industry certifications. And like, these are not like our certifications where it's like a Vincent certification. It's like better than that. In marketing, there's a company that's called HubSpot, and they have like hundreds of thousands of companies that use HubSpot for their website and for marketing. And you're actually going to get an inbound marketing certification from HubSpot. And you'll be able to add that to your resume. You'll be able to add that to your LinkedIn profile. There's also a sales certification that even if you're interested in data and analytics, even if you're interested in engineering, you'll get just a few days in sales and you'll be able to add the sales certification. You'll be able to get a Google Analytics certification. And so whether you're interested in the future in going into marketing, sales, data, any of that, if you're software engineering, you're building in the Google JavaScript embeds into whether you're building a website or an app. And a lot of the times you have to fire events and triggers that end up going into Google Analytics. So you'll be able to add that Google Analytics certification onto your resume and onto your LinkedIn. And this is one that was a little bit surprising to me nowadays, because people didn't used to do this when I graduated from college, which is have a personal portfolio website. 10 years ago, that wasn't really a thing. Now I feel really old, but the past 10 years, I've hired a ton of college students into their first job right out of college. And a lot of the best applicants had personal websites, and on their personal websites, they had a portfolio, they had an example of writing samples, they had examples of projects that they've coded. They've had their GitHubs on there. If you don't know what a GitHub is, that's fine. You're going to learn in the internship if you don't already have one. But these are the types of things we're going to help you build so that you are competitive when you go out and you apply for your next internship or your next job. So by the end of the internship program, you'll have a personal website as well. And that way you have something that will be really good to include on your LinkedIn profile and on your resume for the future. So really, really great question there. I'm just going to check my text messages, see if anybody's texted me a question. These are all really, really good questions. Feel free to throw questions in the chat. If you want to make sure I don't miss a question, shoot it to me on text because the chat's going really fast as more people are joining. So, hey, welcome. Thanks to everybody who's joined us. I'm looking right now. I got a question from Monica in Jackson, Tennessee. I've already jumped in. I'm excited to get started. I'm looking at the pre-program checklist. Do I need to create or set up a Canva account to fill out the template that I see in this screenshot? Yeah, that's a really great question. So we have a template. One of the things that we're teaching everybody is just a little bit of graphic design, just some basic graphic design skills as part of this internship. So we have a template that we've created where you can announce your internship. And LinkedIn now has stories. Instagram has always had stories. Well, actually, that's not technically true. Instagram has stories when they copied Snapchat. But we've created a template that you can fill out announcing your internship and what you're excited about. And yeah, on Intern HQ, there's a link to something called Canva. Canva is kind of like Photoshop, but it's free and it's web-based. And so you can do it from your phone. There's a Canva app. You can do it on a computer, or you can do it on an iPad, wherever. But yeah, if you sign up for a Canva account, just go to Intern HQ, hit the link in the tool section in the middle. That's a really good question. And I love that it's Friday before the internship program really starts on Monday. And Monica, I love that you're already jumping on in. So yeah, thank you, Carson. I'm gonna wave to Anna, who just joined us. Hey, Anna. Any other questions? What are you guys excited about? What do you want to get out of this internship? Anything else that I can answer for you? Throw your question into the chat on Instagram down below, or if you want to make sure if you're already texting with me, you could text me the question. It'll come up on my iPad as well.
Let's see if we missed any from earlier.
I'll scroll up here. How many candidates are accepted into the internship? How big is the intern team going to be? That's a really good question. So we've had hundreds of applications already. We're trying to accept as many people as we can. But with that being said, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to take everybody. But we're trying to get as many people as we can. Next week's cohort that starts on Monday. Carson, how many people do we have that are starting? It's like 30 or
yeah, 50? I believe it's 32 that start on this Monday.
Awesome.
In a couple days.
People who are going to be starting on Monday, and then the Monday after that, I know I saw we already had like about 40 people who are going to get started that following Monday. So, we've had, I think, over 300 applications already. We're not going to be able to take everybody, but we will try to help as many people as we possibly can. We're excited to work with as many people as we possibly can. Aquarium.
And for everyone who is asking where to apply, that is in the VytenPrep bio. So if you just click on that Instagram page, it'll take you right to that application.
Yeah, so link in our bio to apply. You can go to vyten.com/intern as well. Raman Tarif asks, what is the most meaningful project that you've personally worked on during this time of COVID? For me, it was Hope Summit. It was this thing that we did that was called Hope Summit. And this was back in May, which seems like forever ago. But this was back in May. And we went out and we wanted to help as many people get jobs as possible. So we did an event that we hosted that was called the Hope Summit. And we had Forbes there, we had Inc. magazine there, we had Fast Company there, we had writers from LinkedIn News there. And
Tesla.
yeah, we had recruiters there. We had the entire recruiting team from Tesla. We had the recruiting team from SAP, the recruiting team from the chief people officer from Zoom joined us, and they gave just job search advice and career advice. And like Tesla was talking about, step by step by step, exactly how to get an internship at Tesla for anybody who was interested in working at Tesla. And that was an incredible event. We had 6,000 people join that event, and it was incredible. Was Hope Summit put on solely by Vyten? Yeah, that was something that it was on our website. It was our event, and we had a spring intern class back in the spring as well. And we honestly could not have hosted this program without our interns. So it was pretty incredible. But after that, we were getting messages for months from people who attended that event and just how much it helped them. And we had we spent an entire afternoon with people from the class of 2020, and it was just an absolutely incredible event. Can the personal website also serve as a portfolio for our personal STEM majors, as well as a portfolio for business projects that we complete as interns? Yeah, absolutely. Like if you're doing research work right now, if you're working with a professor and you're doing research, this is a place to be able to have that all in one place. And, this is the type of stuff that, the truth of the matter is a competitive job market right now. There's a lot of competition. On average, for every single corporate job posting that's out there, actually take a guess. Take a guess right now. Like if a company like Google, if a company like Tesla, if a company like Microsoft, if a company, like Airbnb puts out a job posting, put a number into the chat and guess how many people apply for each job on average. Just type a number in there for how many people you think apply for each job. And then after that, actually, Gunjan, I'll answer your question right now on how many hours per week for this internship program. But in the meantime, type into the chat your guess for how many people apply to each job search. So the internship program, super flexible. You pick your 6 weeks where you're available. So it's 6 consecutive weeks. You pick your internship start date. It's going to start on a Monday. It's going to run for 6 weeks from that Monday. The exception to that is many of you have sent us your requirements from your university, where in order to get credit for the fall semester, fall quarter, it has to be a minimum number of hours. So if you can't meet that minimum number of hours in 6 weeks, we have kind of extra stuff that you can do to be able to hit that minimum number of hours. So we'll make it work for your school to make sure that you get your credit. But as a general rule of thumb, you should expect to spend between 10 and 15 hours per week during those 16 weeks. So it's a little bit less than a part-time job, but you should expect to spend between 10 and 15 hours per week. And the reason is because, we have trainings that you're going to go through that'll help you learn in these different rotational areas. We have assignments for you to be able to practice these skills. And then you'll be able to put those accomplishments and that experience on your portfolio website and on your resume and on your LinkedIn. But obviously you have to put the time in to finish that work to be able to put it on your LinkedIn. And you're going to be building your own personal website to put all of this stuff together. Can you do that in 10 to 15 hours a week? Yeah, absolutely. Will there be some people like me that are perfectionists spend a little bit more time than that? Yeah, probably. That's okay. So 10 to 15 hours minimum is what you should expect to spend on the internship. If you want to spend more time, you're welcome to do that. If you think you don't have that much time, 10 to 15 hours per week is what you need to do. And, quite frankly, we've made this more flexible than any internship program I've ever seen. just because you can do that any time of day or weekend or night or whenever you want. So everything that you can do can be done on your own time. We'll have these sessions once a week where we'll get together and we'll talk and we'll answer questions and we'll talk about what is it like to work in marketing? What is it like to work in sales? What is it like to work day in and day out as a data analyst? What are the common, BI tools? What are the common projects look like? What does the career path look like for a software engineer? What is product management? I've heard about this thing called product. What is that? We'll talk about all those things once a week. It'll be right here. I think those Wednesdays at this time. So it's at 1 Central every Wednesday during your internship. If you can't make that time, I get it. It'll be on Instagram Live. So you have 24 hours to watch it, just like all the Instagram stories. So can't catch it live, no big deal. Just watch the replay when you can. And then in each of those Instagram lives, at some point, we'll have a magic word. And that magic word is what you'll type into Google Classroom to get credit for joining this Instagram live. So, but if you can't join it, you can watch the replay and then same thing, take that magic word, throw it into Google Classroom, and you'll get credit for our weekly. But we've tried to make it as flexible as possible so that, the weekly meeting is not like other internships where it has to happen at a set time because we know that you have other commitments as well. So Michelle guesses 2,000. I got I'm Tech guesses 1,000. Sarah guesses 300. Trisha guesses 400. Monica says 250 minimum, and Monica, you hit it on the nail. Congratulations. So during normal times, like not during a pandemic, and I've been a recruiter in the past, so just a little bit of background. I was a recruiter. I worked in recruiting for a Fortune 100 company early on in my career, and my job basically day in and day out was to review resumes. And so I was looking through like thousands and thousands of resumes, and then I would pick roughly about 30 or 40 people to do a phone screen with. This was like back before Zoom, and now it would be a Zoom screen, but where I was doing the first conversation with a job candidate, and then if they were qualified, then I would schedule a follow-up interview with the hiring manager or with an interview panel. And on average, in 2019 and before the pandemic, there were about 250 job applicants for every single job posting that was out there. So congratulations, Monica. Right now, though, during a pandemic, there's not as many companies hiring, and there's a lot more job candidates out there. So it's a super competitive job market right now. And I've talked to recruiters. I have recruiters on my podcast every single week. If you haven't listened to it yet, check it out. It's called How I Got Here. There is also a link to that in our link tree too. So there's a link in our Instagram bio for my podcast. But the recruiters I'm talking to now are saying that they get at least 1,000 applications like within a day. And so if you get 1,000 applications within a day, it ends up being really important that on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile, that you're using the right keywords so that the applicant tracking system, so that you even get to a recruiter. The truth of the matter is that when people put in a job application, only about 70% of the applications are never even seen by a human being. So when all of those people apply, about 30% of the resumes end up getting reviewed by a recruiter. 70% of them get automatically screened out if they don't meet the criteria. And so this is why writing your resume and your LinkedIn profile a specific way is really important. And then of the 30%, about 30 to 40 will get a phone screen, and then about 3 or 4 people will get interviews, and then one person ends up getting that job. And so the one person who does get that job, a lot of the times it's a match on previous work experience. And so we've talked about here, well, how do you get that job if you don't have the work experience? And the answer to that is through internships like this. And funny enough, this internship is a good feeding program to get into the really competitive internships when you talk about like the big 4 consulting companies, that's Deloitte, KPMG, EY, and PwC, or super competitive internships like at Facebook or like at Google and those types of companies. All of their internships require previous internship experience, which is crazy, but that's just the way it is.
And our internship is kind of structured more as you can get as much experience as possible. So when you do go apply for other internships or other entry-level jobs that require those certifications, you have all of them under your belt and can talk about them in any future interview as well.
Yeah, and I got a text message here from Vern from Michigan. Vern from Michigan asks, if I have to defer to next year, could I still participate in any future internships? I'm excited to have been accepted, but I can't start earlier than January 11th due to work authorization requirements. I don't know if we'll be doing this internship program next year. All I know right now is we're definitely going to be doing it for the fall. With that being said, we don't have a requirement that you have to be a U.S. citizen or a Canadian citizen to participate in this internship program. So you can actually participate in this from any location, any country, as long as you are a current student at an accredited university or you're a recent graduate at an accredited university. But for your specific scenario, shoot us an email, reply to the acceptance email. If you have any individual questions, we can work through it. But the truth of the matter is we're going to try to get as many people through this internship program as possible. We want to try to help as many people as we possibly can. With that being said, we don't know how long we're going to be doing this for. Will we have a winter internship class? I don't know. All I can tell you is we had a spring one. We did not have a summer one. We're going to do a fall one. Will we have a winter one? I don't know. Will we have a spring one? Probably, but I don't know. Thanks for the question. I see Chris said, thank you. You just answered my question. Queen says, same. So awesome. I was waiting for my admission. Raman says, I was waiting for my admission decision. I just realized I was just sent to junk mail 3 days ago. No. So will I be all right, even though I've confirmed a day late now? Raman, we'll send you a confirmation email. For everybody else, if you've applied for the internship and you're not sure if you've gotten an acceptance or you haven't seen, I think we've responded to everybody within 2 days, 2 business days. So if it's been more than 2 business days and you haven't heard back from us, check your spam folder. The email comes from hello@vyten.com. So it's hello@vyten.com. If you haven't heard from us already, more than likely the email's in your spam folder. And then if you use Gmail, you're going to want to mark one of our emails as important. So if you hit mark as important, or the other thing you can do is you can drag it from your spam folder into your primary inbox. So on the top, you have like tabs and it's like primary, promotions, updates, and social, I think is the 4th one. Just take one of our emails, drag it into primary, and that's what'll make sure that the emails in the future don't go to your spam folder. But good question. I'm Texas. Thank you so much for answering that. I'm going to scroll up here and see any other question. What amount of time are we expected to invest in the internship? It's 10 to 15 hours per week. You can spend more than that if you want to, but it's really not possible to complete the internship if you do less than that. So yeah, about 10 to 15 hours per week. You can do that anytime you want, though. So it doesn't have to be at specific times. We've gotten a lot of questions like, hey, I have this commitment, on Sundays I have church, on, Tuesday nights, I do this thing. That's fine. You can do 10 to 15 hours a week, anytime, any of day or at night as you want. The only thing that's set in stone on set times is every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Pacific. No, I already screwed that up.
11 Pacific, 1 Central.
2 o'clock Eastern. So 11 Pacific, 1 Central, 2 Eastern. Every Wednesday we'll be on Instagram Live right here. And that's kind of like where our group discussions will be. And you'll be able to text message me any question that you want me to answer in advance. Careers in marketing, careers in HR, careers in whatever. What is it like to apply for X, Y, and Z job? Hey, I had this question about yada, yada, yada. We'll be right here. Now, what happens if you can't make it Wednesday at 11 Pacific, 1 Central, 2 o'clock Eastern? That's okay. It'll be on our Instagram profile for 24 hours. That is required as part of the internship program every Wednesday. That's our one mandatory thing that you have. If you can't join it live, that's okay. You have 24 hours to watch the replay. At some point, we'll say the magic word during the broadcast. You take that magic word, you put it into Google Classroom. That's how you get credit for the one mandatory thing that we have as part of that internship. But it's super flexible.
And then Monica said that for anyone who was checking for their email confirmation, that she found hers in promotions, in case somebody else was looking for theirs, if it went to a different inbox.
That's a great one. That's a great one. All right. Got another text from Rob. Rob says, thank you so much for doing this internship program. I've been looking for something exactly like this. I'm not sure what I want to do yet in the future. I'm going to be graduating in 2022, but I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing yet. And so I'm really excited for that the internship program is a rotational program. That's okay. Like, that's absolutely okay. I mean, the day that I graduated from college in 2009, I still, at that point, like, I had a comms degree, but I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And I thought I was going to go to law school. I started studying for the LSAT that summer. And here I am, you know, over a decade later, and I'm not an attorney. And I'm glad I didn't go to law school, but that was the right decision for me. It's not the right decision for everybody, but that's what was right for me. So that's okay. I mean, how many of you are like that too, where you think you might know what you want to do in the future, but you're not completely positive? If that's you, just type me into the chat. Because if you're feeling that way, I want you to see all the other people who are in that exact same boat with you, and for you to know that that's okay. Raman asks, are we meant to have access to Plus and Pro memberships, and what are they? Yeah, that's a great question. So I see Sakshi says me. No, you don't have access to Vyten Plus, Vyten Pro. Eric says me. Sarah says 100% me. So Rob, who sent me that text, it's all good, man. Like, you're good. You know, this is the reason why we're doing this internship the way that we are. Chris says, yes, I changed my major this year. This is why we're doing the internship that way. And quite frankly, in the past 10 years, I've worked in recruiting. I've worked in marketing. I've worked in sales. I've worked in software development. And so, you know, one way to look at that is maybe to this point, I still don't know what I'm doing, but I still got experience in all of those different areas. And what was awesome was I worked for a company for over 8 years where they let me move around to different jobs so I could learn in different areas. And so, you know, in life, that's the way careers go. So are we meant to have access, Raman asked, to the Vyten Plus and Vyten Pro memberships? No. So actually, that's not true. Some of you have access to Vyten Plus and Vyten Pro. So we have some, this is completely different than the internship. We have a paid coaching program. So Vyten, what we do is we help people get fulfilling careers with the pay and with the purpose that they deserve. And we have hundreds of Vyten Plus, Vyten Pro members who are part of our coaching program. And so that's a paid membership. There's a monthly subscription. You don't have to do that to become an intern. So just to be clear, you don't have to be part of Vyten Plus, Vyten Pro to do our internship program. Do we have people in Vyten Plus and Vyten Pro who are doing our internship program? Yes, we have a few people who are recently graduated students or soon to be graduated students who are in our coaching program. But that's something different. And the internship program is something completely different. If you want to join Vyten Plus or Vyten Pro in the future, we do let people in. I think there's a wait list right now for Pro, but that's something you can decide later if that's something that you want to do. You're welcome to do it if you would like to. But
then we have another question of whether the application is still open.
Yeah, for the internship, Imbra, I see the question 956. Can we still apply for the internship? Yes, you still can apply for the internship. If you have not applied for our internship yet, there's a link in our Instagram profile in our bio. So hit that link, apply for the internship. It takes less than 2 minutes to apply, and we'll review your application. We're not going to be able to take everybody. And, you know, I wish we could take everybody, but unfortunately, that's just the way life is. But we're going to try to get as many people through the internship program as we possibly can in the fall. Sai says, thank you so much. It's an amazing opportunity for me as a May 2021 graduate. I love that you're working on this, and I love that you're you're spending time working on yourself, and you're spending time on your future, and you're spending time being able to put real work experience on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile. We're gonna all build personal websites together. You're gonna be able to have a portfolio on your website, so that when you do apply for that job, that you are that candidate that stands out. Because today, being average, you end up in an average job. And if you put average effort in, you get an average life out. And right now, in a competitive job market, you've spent way too much time on school. You've invested way too much money into school to end up with an average job afterwards. And so we're excited to help as many people as we possibly can land a fulfilling career, so that you can get that pay, so that you can get that purpose that you want. And if you were like me, so that you can get out of your student loans, because I know I graduated with way too many thousands of dollars in student loans. And I was excited. By the time I was 25 years old, I was able to pay off all of my student. And was it fun? No. Was it hard? Yes. And did I have to eat a lot of pizza and top ramen to be able to make aggressive payments to my student loans? Yeah, probably. Luckily, I wasn't trying to be keto at the time, but I did what it took to get out of my student loan debt. And if you have loans right now, you can do that too. And it's definitely possible to be able to do. Rama says UCLA debt. It's different, bro. Yeah, I'm with you. I did go to UCLA, and I am a Bruin still today. And the debt is real. But you can pay those loans down. And I didn't get help from my parents to do that. And it was really just working my butt off and grabbing an incredible career that allowed me to be able to do that. Some of you are just joining us. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Joe. We have 8 minutes left. Instagram cuts you off on Instagram Lives after an hour. So we're going to get cut off in 8 minutes from now. You can definitely go back and watch the replay, watch this from the start. It'll be on our profile for 24 hours, just like every other Instagram story. But here's the Cliff Notes. If you're just joining us now, I'm going to give you everything that we've talked about in 52 minutes. I'm going to give that to you in the next 2 minutes. We are hosting our Vyten Fall 20 internship program. We're so excited to kick that off. Some people have applied. Hundreds of people have applied to that already. You can apply in the link in our bio, or you can go to vyten.com/intern. It takes 2 minutes to apply. Next week on Monday, we're going to kick off our first cohort of fall intern class, and I couldn't be more excited. So we have 30 to 30 something people that are going to be starting on Monday. They've already jumped into Intern HQ. We have, I think, another 40 or 50 people that are starting the week after that already have access to our Intern HQ and have been accepted already as well. The week before the internship, you get access to Google Classroom. So if you start next week, you already have the code to get into our Google Classroom this week. If you start the week after that, you're going to get that code next Thursday. So check your email. Some of those emails might be going to your promotions folder in Gmail, or to social, or to your spam. But just look for an email from hello@vyten.com. Mark that email as important and move the email into your primary folder. So click and drag it into the primary tab. And that's how you'll make sure that you don't miss our emails during your internship. And then you can do the internship at your own pace. What I mean by that is you can work on your projects, on your trainings, on your learnings any time of day you want, any time of night you want. You can't fall behind, though. So each week, you have to do the work for that week in that week. So you can do it at your own pace, but you need to stay within that week. And then in Google Classroom, you'll be able to turn in assignments. You'll be able to upload screenshots after you've completed trainings. And the only thing that we have that's mandatory is this session on Instagram every single week. So we're going to be on Instagram every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Central. That's 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you can't make it live, you can text me questions in advance, text me topics that you want us to talk about. You can watch the replay on our Instagram profile for 24 hours. And somewhere in that discussion, we're going to say a magic word. The magic word for this week, by the way, is tacos. So if you're starting next week on Monday, the magic word this week is tacos. And we'll also accept the taco emoji as an answer as well. And just like that, you can watch the replay, get that, and you just throw it into Google Classroom. That's how you get credit for joining our weekly intern meeting. And that's it. So if you haven't applied already, we're looking forward to hopefully having you apply. If you have already applied, we're going to try to go through as many of them as we can, but I can't promise anything. It is a
And
Friday.
then if you guys have any questions, make sure you text Vincent. His number is pinned in the chat. If anyone has questions that come up that they weren't able to ask today.
So awesome. This has been a really awesome session. It's so nice to be able to meet so many of you. If you're jazzed for this internship this fall, if you're excited for this internship this fall, throw a couple exclamation points into the chat down below, because I'm really excited to get started. Raman asked, how do you change your start date? Just reply to that email, your acceptance email. So if you need to change your start date, just reply to that acceptance email, and the team will help you change your start date. But throw some explanation points into the comments down below if you're excited to get started. If you have friends that want to go through this internship program as well, like if you've already been accepted and you have a friend that you want to go through it with you, have them apply, and then shoot us an email and just let us know your friend's email that has applied. And I don't know, maybe we'll like try to pair up people into different cohorts, because if you've already gotten in, then there's no harm in having somebody else apply because you've already gotten in. So it's not too late to go through the program with a friend. I know for me, I always used to register for classes with friends because it's just more fun to have somebody else go through it with you. So feel free to do that. All right, we'll see everybody later next Wednesday. We'll see you here. Same time, same place. Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you right here live on Instagram. All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.